Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, I wanted to talk about Nemesis a little bit and his future. This is an ongoing story that we've been talking about for a while now, dating back to last offseason, ever since he got kicked from Fnatic after they got eliminated from Worlds, really, even honestly before Worlds. A lot of the speculation was going around that, Fnatic could be moving on from Nemesis, and what his future was going to look like, and what team he was going to end up on, whether it was going to be an NA, EU, whatever, and obviously nothing ever panned out, and ever since then, there have been a lot of people asking of what is going to happen with Nemesis, because he does have a lot of fans. He is a obviously very, very popular player. He has big streams, big socials. People really like this guy, and people want to see him back, but then there's a ton of people on the other side as well that are like, oh, Nemesis was not very good when we saw him in the LEC. So just overall, a lot of people wondering what is going on, but recently we have a couple of clips coming out from LS's live stream, from Nemesis's live stream, and a lot of different stuff to talk about that could start hinting towards the future for Nemesis, and give us some more answers, even though there's been a lot of questions and stuff recently. But definitely do drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I'd appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm, if you guys are interested in receiving bonus content, extra videos every single week. With that being said, here we go. So this clip came up from League Player Clips. LOL Drama and League Player Clips are two of the channels. I'm not subscribed to either one of them, but their clips just always pop up on my homepage, so I can kind of stay in the loop with all the craziness going on, all the Twitch clips and stuff. I don't watch a whole lot of Twitch, honestly, but LS does have this clip of LS explaining why Nemesis will not return to pro play, and it's an interesting title, obviously. Sometimes it's clickbait, you never know, but I think it's interesting because a lot of what we've heard before is Nemesis saying, I don't know, maybe I'll return to pro play. We'll see what the offers are. We'll see how much money I'm making. We'll see what they want to offer me. But we haven't really heard a definitive yes or no. It just seems like the door's been open. It seems like, oh, we'll have to wait and see. Who knows what this offseason is going to keep in store. We haven't heard a lot of people saying, like, no, he will not be playing next year. He won't be playing ever. So if we get like a more definitive or concrete answer from LS or Nemesis or anyone close to the situation or involved, that would be pretty interesting. So let's see what he has to say.
I don't think he would. I'm 99% sure Nemesis is not returning to pro play. Unless there's a miracle. I'm like 99% sure. Because I mean, there's no incentive to return to pro play. There's literally no incentive.
So that is a very, very interesting thing. Obviously, him coming out and saying there's a 99% chance that he will not return is interesting. LS is a guy with obviously a ton of inside information on the situation. He knows the kinds of offers that Nemesis is getting. He knows the teams and people and everything that are talking to Nemesis, as far as NA teams, EU teams, Korean teams, all that stuff. He also knows how much money Nemesis is making behind the scenes with Gen G, from Twitch, from YouTube, from all the stuff he has going on, which is definitely a lot of money. He is well off. He is chilling. He is comfortable. Who knows how long he'll be able to stay at this level? Who knows how long he'll remain relevant? You know, all that stuff. You absolutely never know. I'm not even saying anything bad about the guy. You just really never know. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see, how hopefully he can keep this going forever. Hopefully he has a solid career option here. That'd be great for him because, yeah, like he's saying, it seems like he won't be ending up back in the LEC. But again, the interesting part here, he says, what is the incentive for him to go back to pro play? And it's obviously a very, very good point. We know the money in the LEC is not great, especially compared to the LCS, especially around the world, especially when you are one of the top streamers as well. The money is not going to make a lot of sense. But also, Nemesis isn't going to be getting a ton of big money offers. He's not going to be getting like money that G2 players or even like top Fnatic players or something are going to be getting, because he's coming off what was not very good of a time in the LEC, to be honest. I mean, I pulled up Oracle Elixir. This is Tim Sevenhuysen's website. I would highly recommend it. If we take a look at the spring first, things weren't too bad for Nemesis. He did pretty well with Fnatic in the spring. His KDA was third highest in the league, or tied for second highest in the league at 4.1% for mid laners. That's obviously pretty decent. One thing always with Nemesis in most of these splits is kill participation is not ever that good. Actually dead last in the league for mid laners, which is a little bit concerning. But he had some decent laning stats. Third highest gold differential at 10, fourth highest XP differential at 10, fifth highest for CSD. So, he wasn't bad. He was very, very solid. He played on a good team. It seemed like he was doing well. It seemed like the future was bright. But then obviously fast forward to this summer split that was just really, really not good for him, and really started the beginning of all of this stuff kind of going on, where as far as KDA, he had one of the lower ones at 3.1 for mid laners. KP, again, dead last in the league. Just a really, really recurring thing. Just does not, I don't, for whatever reason, doesn't get involved in a lot of kills in the mid to late game for his teams. And then the laning was just absolutely atrocious. Gold differential at 10, second lowest in the league, only ahead of Febvin, who obviously is also no longer in the league, and we don't really expect to see anytime soon. XP differential, he was dead last. And then CSD, he was second to last over Milica, who again is another guy who we do not see in the league. So in the summer split, the only guys he was better than in some of these stats are guys that are not in the LEC anymore, not getting any offers, not just being able to pick and choose, their favorite offers, or the offers that are going to pay them enough, or the offers that are going to pay them more than they're receiving from streaming or whatever. So this is obviously where the situation gets a little bit complicated. I think I have Worlds in here somewhere too, where a lot of his stats weren't great. Fnatic was a decent team. They were a single game away from making the semifinals at Worlds, but still, Nemesis down here, gold differential towards the bottom for mid laners, XP differential at 10 towards the bottom. CSD, same thing. Kill participation, actually a little bit better than his usual stats, honestly, but just very, very middle of the pack. When Fnatic had hopes of not being a middle of the pack team, not a lower third of the team, so it made sense to replace him. Now, again, that doesn't mean just because he wasn't good enough to play on one of the best teams in the LEC, one of the best teams in the world, that doesn't mean there's not a spot for him in the LEC. But again, if you are going to be playing on one of those mid to lower tier teams and you are not a world-class mid laner, which I really don't think Nemesis is at this time, maybe he has become since then, but at least the most recent we've seen from him, he has not been a world-class mid laner, so no one's going to pay him that money until he actually proves that. The streaming money is going to be a little bit better. So like LS says, there is not a ton of incentive for him to come back, but I still do think it was interesting to hear LS saying that he thinks there's a 99% chance that he will not be back. That's pretty crazy to hear from a guy like that.
Don't you think that Nemesis will still get good offers from teams? No, I don't. Because I don't think the teams can recognize his actual skill, so it doesn't matter.
So I do appreciate there that he is being very, very honest. They're saying, oh, don't you think he's going to get good offers? Obviously, that guy is probably like a Nemesis fan or an LS fan or whatever in this community. I do appreciate the openness and honesty saying that, no, I don't think he's going to get good offers, because, again, I do believe that is true. A couple of reasons. One, again, they don't make a whole lot of good offers over in the LEC. Maybe he would get some decent offers from the LCS, but even then, what we're dealing with, the most recent summer split, the most recent Worlds performance we've seen from Nemesis, we're not that good. Now LS throwing in the extra stuff, obviously he's going to back up his friend. I'm not saying anything bad about LS for defending his friend and stuff there, but saying that they don't recognize the talent and everything they had in him. Well, again, we saw this guy in the summer split. He was honestly one of the worst mid laners in the LEC, and he was on a good team. Sometimes if you're on a bad team, it can make you look a little worse. You can perform a little worse. Your stats can be worse. Your performance can be affected. He was on a decent team. He was on a very, very solid team, not only in the LEC, but in the world, and still looked bad. Now, if you take that summer Nemesis, it's just one bad split. It doesn't mean he is that level of player. I don't believe you're as good as your highs or as bad as your lows, but that's what we saw from him most recently. That's all we can go off of. He can take a cheaper contract and prove himself, but if he is not interested in doing that, then yes, I really don't think we will be seeing him back in the LEC or really any league anytime soon. Now, again, this all could change. Sometimes people get that itch to come back to pro play. Sometimes the perfect offer is just going to present itself for a team that maybe wants to get a little bit more popular, grow their socials, take a chance. But I just don't ever think that the money and opportunity that Nemesis is looking for, he's looking for big money, he's looking for an opportunity on a good team, all this stuff, when he's going to be getting low offers from medium to bad teams, and if he wanted to take a year or two to prove himself, then he could start climbing up the ladder, but he's trying to jump over people when his most recent performances just do not line up with that. So yeah, I don't know, kind of interesting. Again, I'm not really surprised. I am glad to hear that they are being open and realistic, not expecting to get some crazy big offers when, no one really thinks or expects or should think that those are coming. But, obviously they still are going to be like, oh, they just don't know his worth. Oh, they don't know how good he is, blah, 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 blah. Well, show us rather than just telling us about how good he is, because we got to see him It wasn't all that great, but that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Just wanted to give you this big Nemesis update where LS, is pretty much coming out and saying that Nemesis is probably just going to be a streamer for at least the foreseeable future. So don't get your expectations up too high. Don't get your hopes up too high. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think Nemesis should do? Do you think he should just keep streaming? Do you think he should take an offer with a lower tier team, with an ERL, something like that? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay updated on my latest content. Consider checking out my Patreon. I would appreciate it a ton. And hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!